down and emotions feel like I never did before. Live shows and spoken reels of the movie I ignored. Blue skies on a broken sea and I'm stuck up on the shore. I never thought you could see me, but you did. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. So easy. We could be the enemy and show them how it's done. Yeah, we could brand a new identity and tear apart the song that's making grayscale. We love black and white scale, singing saints that the sinners believe in burn all that's in it. We'll take them out. We'll make them up for it and shout. Dream out the guns, I'll take the wheel. How we feel, we were made for this. Leave the mountains still and make it real, make it dangerous. Been colorblind for all my life, and they kept painting rainbows. I'm colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain. And you've been colorblind for all your life. It's scared to even say so. We're colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain so. So what they say we're called is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I hope you're all well today.
Yeah, sorry we were late. Rory really wanted Timbits from Tim Hortons, so he went and got some. That's why we're late.
That was definitely the reason.
Yeah, that
Don't
was
ask
100%
about
the
it.
reason.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
don't ask to see the fucking Timbits, okay?
He ate them all on the way back. Like, he ate them all on his moose when he came.
Oh, that actually though, when I go to the grocery store, like back in London, when I always buy a baguette and like eat almost all of it on the way home, like on the walk home
He's
from the
got
grocery store. That's like
he's
my
got,
ritual.
a pastry problem, like a bakery problem. He's just
I
constantly
really
eating bread
do.
and stuff.
I have a serious pastry problem, to be honest. Hey, Vo, how are you?
It's good though, because I mean that's like I would eat, like if I could eat nothing but bread and like not like have to worry about
Yeah.
it, it'd be fine.
It would be
but
nice,
You
wouldn't it?
can't just eat bread
Yeah.
and like be fine.
If carbs were vegetables, what a world. But
Yeah, great.
So yeah, today we have the classical canonical composition on the podcast, which is the four of us. No
The
guest.
alliteration.
No guest this week, but we may actually have a guest next week. I'm not prepared to announce it yet, but I will say that I'm scheduling something, and so we'll see how it goes. Gonna lurk and do some TVHM. Yeah, do your thing. Best of luck, corrupt, optimal element usage, and all that. So we have actually last week we sat down and we discussed. There was some Gamescom announcements, and there was some NVIDIA news and such sort of associated things.
Yeah, all the graphics cards got announced, and then
Yes, yeah.
Everybody who just built a PC is very sad.
yes.
So, this week we actually have something of a similar note, but for people who are playing on consoles, which is that the Xbox, the two models of Xbox have been announced. And well, I shouldn't say announced, but formally priced.
Well, one of them has at least. It's still a rumor on the second one, but I imagine
Wait, what are the names of these again? It's like what?
The Xbox Series
Series
X and
yeah.
Series S.
Yes.
Okay, that's
so
why I
I'm
never remember.
I'm so glad I'm not gonna be working at a game store again. So some parent's gonna come in and be like, "I need the Xbox Series S," or no, I need the Xbox Series. I need that thing. And then for some poor employee to be like, "Do you need the X or the S?"
You
And
should
they're
just be like, "Do you want the refrigerator or the cereal box?" I think is what
I call it the PA system. I call it the PA system. The
It
Series
does
S.
with the
yeah.
subwoofer
It
like
does
cover.
look
That's
like
what it
one,
looks
doesn't
like.
it?
Yeah.
Is it the smallest Xbox ever and the loudest?
Are you sure, Morgan? It says on the Xbox website that it's $299 for the Series
Yeah,
S.
yeah. Series S.
I'm talking
S-
about the Series X though too.
Isn't it $399?
There's an
I thought I
X
saw
one?
It's
that.
$499.
Yeah,
'Cause I wasn't
$399.
Yeah,
sure.
it was announced. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it was
both
announced.
Wait, what is
yeah.
the
Oh, they
difference?
both
The
did announce
Series
it. Okay.
X is $399, and then the Series S is.
Is it
Whoa,
like
whoa, whoa.
is it
This
like
might
the
have
Pro
been-
versus
Melly,
the non?
$499. Melly, the Series X is $499.
Oh, $499. $499. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's $499 and $299. Yeah,
Okay,
which is
'cause-
like within estimate.
Because yesterday when I was looking, I know that they had at least did the Series S. I didn't know that they did the Series X announcement, so that's pretty cool. I'm not surprised that it's $499.
Yeah, so $499 is fairly reasonable actually for what's in there.
Hey,
Hi, cool
cool.
guy. How are you? And $299 is also good actually, to be honest.
Now
That's
what I
actually
want to know.
much lower than I thought it was gonna be, especially with all like the tech that was going into it.
Well, there's a lot less of that tech in the $299, but carry on, Morgan.
Yeah, that's very true. Not to mention the $299 one is also digital only. It is completely digital
Oh, okay.
only. There's no.
Okay, I got a question. Were there rumors of this S in some
Oh
form?
yes. Yeah, there
There
were
were,
the
yeah.
controller leak. There was a leak
But,
of a
but the
controller
actual,
box that said
but the
Series
size,
S.
but the size and the specs, not so much.
I don't think so. I
It wasn't
think we
really a
just kind of
hardware leak.
knew
I
that
don't
there was
think.
going to be
I think
another
it was
one.
just like
Yeah.
the fact that they knew even though everyone knew that they were making another system. I feel like that's a given.
It's actually pretty similar to but better than like when back in the day when there were Steam machines. I don't know if Melly you remember Steam machines, but the idea was they were these like PCs that they only played Steam games. It was just an OS and Steam, and that was like the function. And it was like trying to target like the console gamer market, but bring them over to PC. And it didn't really work. And part of the reason it probably didn't work is because there were about like 15,000 different models of the thing. They released like different tiers and different companies and stuff, and it got really confusing. But like this is kind of like that, I guess, in a sense, except less confusing and more sensible.
Alienware was one of those, right?
I
Alienware
think so.
company?
I can't even remember all this. It sort of ran into obscurity rather quickly.
I
Like, I
remember
think we all
being
forgot they
younger
existed
and
pretty
like really wanting an Alienware, and then like now when I'm like grown up, I'm like, man, thank God I didn't go with fucking Alienware.
Yeah,
See, like,
yeah.
Sometimes I think the same thing because I can remember at one point I was like, "That's kind of cool. I could play PC games just like as a console. That's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
cool." And now I'm so glad that I just have a PC.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we just have a tower and it's fine.
Yeah, it turned out to be all good in the end. So, but yeah, honestly, like, so the prices, I'm gonna out Kilroy here and say
Okay,
that
yeah.
I was talking to him about this today. And one of the things he was like $2.99. I'm gonna pick one up. And now Kilroy, obviously, like he's a PC gamer first, right? In his heart.
Does he own any
and-
consoles currently though?
Yeah, he has a Nintendo Switch. And
Does he have like a PS4 or an Xbox?
I don't know if he has a PS4. I kind of want to say he does, but I'm not honestly sure. But I think he does have a PS4. And he was like $2.99. He's like, I'm gonna buy a controller anyway. So that's the way he figured it. He's like, obviously, I'm gonna buy a new Xbox controller because I like them for my PC games. So he's like, because how much are controllers? What is controllers? $70, something like that.
Yeah,
for
60, 70, depending on which
60,
one.
70. Yeah, and
I
he's
just
like,
kinda-
go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just kind of
No.
realized too, because with with that small kind of price, like yeah, you're not maybe going to get like the upscaled part of it, like that makes it really PC. But like that's going to be really good for the people that just want to have like a kind of a smaller console experience and be able to play those games still. But not to mention, because I just kind of thought of this, because remember how a whole bunch of us were like, oh, we probably won't get that because we already have a PC. But a $2.99 version, like even if it's just an all digital version, would be great to just have sitting in your living room.
I was gonna say I have never been an Xbox person. I've never owned an Xbox. Obviously
Same,
now I'm on.
honestly.
I now I am obviously I have a PS4. We'll get the PS5 for sure, and have a PC. But now even I'm like, I could squeeze an extra $300 into my budget, for.
See, I kind of even think that too, because that's kind of a nice now like for $500 for something to be sitting under my TV
Nice
that
swag.
for like basically to use like anything that I could already get on my PC. Like why would I need that? But for a $2.99 version, just to put under my TV and be able to play some of those games, like say maybe if I don't want to play it on my PC at the time, right? Or like maybe they're multiplayer games and I'd like to play just like couch co-op with somebody. That would be kind of nice.
Just to have the option.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
personally,
That's basically what my launch PS4 does. It just sits downstairs on the large TV, and I'm like, oh, if I have people over, it's fine.
so in my case, I'm not going to pick one of these up, but I do think that like one of the first things that they talked about, Phil Spencer talked about with the Xbox strategy was, we're not looking at exclusives anymore, right? And my first thought was that's great for consumers.
Which
I wonder how
I don't
it'll
think they had
contribute.
any anyway. I mean, but
They
yeah, continue.
but they're especially not looking into just console exclusives now, right? Like they're looking primarily to build a bridge between the console market and the PC market. So that's strictly good for consumers. Whether or not it helps sell Xboxes is another concern entirely. But this is like another component of that strategy. This is like a Christmas gift. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what this market I feel is like this is like an easy, straightforward way. Like, is it loaded with all the features of the Series X? No, it's not. But it's a very reasonable amount of hardware for $2.99, in my opinion.
Not like what you said about Christmas gift too. Like that's basically like for every parent, this is a cost-effective way that my 14-year-old can experience this new gen system that's not the $500 version.
Yep.
I mean, I think essentially the $4.99 one is they're going to retain their current customers if you're already in the Xbox ecosystem.
The
This is
three
natural
people
step.
left.
And then the $2.99 is for the new customers.
I will
them,
say,
like- yeah.
go ahead.
No, that's them being more accessible and trying to branch out.
So I think I mostly agree. I do think they are also hoping to get the people who want like the PC level hardware without the PC process with the $4.99 one. And I will say that as good a deal as the $2.99 one is, I think the $4.91 one is equally as good a deal based on what they have in it. Like I think it's equally like priced on production versus actual sell cost. I would say that. But yeah, I agree.
That being said, I feel like they could just go and make a PC, because I've seen people build like budget PCs at like 500 or like.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But people don't know that. That's the thing, right? The people don't know that, right? Like that.
This is for the people that don't know that.
This is
I
for
feel
the
like the
people who want
information-
plug and play, I guess. It's just like, all right.
Like I've known about building PCs for ages because my cousin taught me about it when I was young, right? Really young. But I didn't hear about it in school. You know what I mean? I didn't hear about it from my friends, none of whom were PC gamers, right? Like it is like that information I feel like it's a really small slice of the public that actually knows what's involved in building a PC, right? I feel like it's almost like one of those things like unless you're a part of it, unless you've already done it, it's very hard to put like a amount of effort calculation into it. You know what I mean? Because before you go into it, you're like, fuck, this might be a lot of work. Like, I don't know. Like, and then once you do it, you're like, oh damn, that was like big Legos.
Yeah.
That was like an elaborate IKEA build.
Yeah.
It's literally just expensive.
That was like a
Legos.
simple IKEA
Like, oh,
build.
God.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I feel like a PC is easier than most IKEA stuff.
At least this is in English.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So I don't have to find something called the Yergafasa that I probably accidentally threw into the garbage.
Like, what's this? I don't know. Fuck it, we don't need it. And it's like, oh, that was the most important part. It's like, god damn it.
Like he is harder than PC build for sure.
There was a month in my apartment where it was like the whole living room was like wall-to-wall cardboard, and it's because we tried to build we built a bunch of IKEA stuff, and the last thing was build the IKEA couch, me and my roommate, and we gave up. We gave up. We couldn't do it.
I would actually like to see that like in like a YouTube video, like compare side by side, like someone setting up all the furniture for a room, like IKEA furniture, and like the other guy and the other like building a PC, and who finishes first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It'd be a time
That'd be
trial.
funny,
It's like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Like, I have yet to ask, because, like, I know my brother usually is, like, a hardcore Xbox person, so I'm wondering if he will get one or not. Because he's also a big PC person, so it'll be interesting. The one thing that I want to know about, too, is, like, how's it going to work for, like, collector's editions? Like, for me, for example, because, like, say if there's Fable is coming out, right? Like, there are some games that are going to be, like, Xbox... Series X exclusive, or like Xbox Series, I guess, like the Xbox Series, whatever, exclusive at first, like a timed exclusive. It's like, how is that going to work for like collector's editions? Like, is there going to be like a Fable collector's edition that I would want to have on PC, but it'll only come out for the Xbox Series X, like physically, or what? Like, that's what I want to know about.
Yeah. But that's a good question. I didn't even think of that.
Have they done collector's editions for like timed exclusives and then like later re-release them as another? Because
I can't think of an example, but probably
Rise of the Tomb Raider was what, Xbox for a year, I think.
Yeah, okay, so
Sometime,
Rise of the
certainly,
Tomb... That's actually a good point, because Rise of the Tomb Raider, I actually have the collector's edition for that, and the statue
Did you get it on
for
Xbox
it is...
or PS4?
Statue for it is right here. I actually have it for both technically now, because I had it for the Xbox, and then I actually did download it for PlayStation, because I know there's like DLC and stuff that you can get on the PlayStation version, so I do have that one as well, because I got it for PS Plus. But yeah, that's actually a good point, because there was a collector's edition that came out for Rise of the Tomb Raider just for Xbox, and then they did like a Game of the Year edition type thing for PlayStation 4, and I think it came with like maybe like a teeny little art book, like it was a I'm gonna say it again. Oh my god, game case slash art book that you could get for
so
the
it wasn't like
PlayStation
one
4
for
version.
one, like every item for the.
It was not there was not a collector's edition for the PlayStation 4 version for Rise of the Tomb Raider, at least that I know of, but I don't think there was.
My instinct is to say go for the alpha,
Yeah, because you might think like.
But I honestly think it's going to have to be a case-by-case basis. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just going to have to make that call when those are announced.
Because it's kind of like, it honestly is kind of like somebody who is, like, we have two people that are going to be buying, like, a PlayStation, right? Like, they just want to play some games, right? So, like, PlayStation, like, on the one hand, this one person is like, okay, so, like, should I get a PlayStation 4 Slim or should I get a PlayStation 4 Pro? And like there's definitely, I mean, like let's say like when they first came out, you know, because like a PS4 Pro was $499.
Yeah,
So it would be like a person thinking, okay, so I'm a huge gamer, I have a 4K TV, I love everything looking really nice and crisp, and I like loading times and all that other stuff, right? So like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, and I have enough money to throw around for right now. So the PlayStation 4 Pro would seem like a pretty good option for them. But somebody who's like, I mean, I'll play like maybe some sports games every once in a while, but I mostly watch like streaming services on it and watch movies, like my DVDs and Blu-rays. So it's like, why would they want to get the PlayStation 4 Pro, right? So I think you're right. Like,
Because
it's going to
it
be
says
case
pro,
by case.
and it makes you
Because
a
it says pro on it. How are you going to be a pro Netflix watcher, man? Like, you're going to need this. GameStop. But yeah, like, I feel like for gamers, a lot of gamers, we would probably think, I'm going to get the big one, you know? Like, I probably would think that, because it's like, I mean, I'm already going to spend the $300. I could probably spend a little bit more to get, like, the nicer version of it that has a disc drive in it.
Oh my goodness. Daryl's
He's
dropping algebra. He's dropping algebra into the chat, guys.
All right.
I love algebra.
He said
Roy loves math.
So Daryl's saying, do we split the budget half and half and then reevaluate the supply after it comes out again?
Right, so it's a marketing call is basically what Swag is saying. All things. Math, I'm out. More math from me than cool guy.
Type that in the chat.
I don't think anyone's gonna
No.
be
Real cool
that.
guy. What is 60 plus 9? There you go.
There's your math.
That's the kind of math cool guy likes. See, there you go.
There, that's all you had to do. You didn't feel anything.
Nailed it. Good job. Gold star. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting lookout on it. Now, what I'm waiting for is Sony to start doing some announcing here.
Well, they're rumored to
Balls in the
have
court.
something start in like a couple of days or something, I think.
Yeah, there's gonna be like when the first announcement drops, there's always like
There's always
then this
follow-up
big
after
rush
that.
of things, you know, like Nvidia just had their thing, like we talked about it last week. Well, AMD's is on October 8th, right?
Yeah, they're releasing
So
their new like 4,000 processors and whatever, or like
or whatever they're gonna. Yeah, so their new CPU and GPU is not that the I love AMD GPUs. I think they're great, but I actually physically cannot switch over from an Nvidia GPU. Like I need it for what I do. So unfortunately, I'm trapped as a consumer there. But it'll be really interesting to see. And honestly, like especially because Nvidia's price points are so good. And I think that it's the same thing, right, with Xbox, right? Like Xbox's price point is really good, especially if you look at what's in it. Like I'm actually amazed, you know, that the prices are as good as they are. So, and likewise with the Nvidia announcement.
The only thing that
if
sold
AMD
me
can top
on
that.
PS5 was the fact that they're using a SSD. I was like, all right, I'm in. I was like, the only thing stopping me before was that they were using a hard drive still.
See, what sells me on is that usually they're like all the JRPGs go to that, plus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're never gonna let go of Spider-Man. So
No, well, they're never going to let go of Insomniac. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because Insomniac did do an Xbox exclusive
Yeah,
game.
they did.
yeah, they did.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive, yep. But that was also before Spider-Man.
It was before Spider-Man, yeah.
And
they
they
haven't-
had Ratchet
yeah, I
and
mean-
Clank. And like,
But they had years of PS exclusives.
Yeah, that's
too,
true.
before
Because I was gonna say that too. Yeah, because
Spyro.
yeah,
Oh, sorry,
they
go
did so
ahead.
many of those. Oh no, I was just basically reiterating what you were saying. But yeah, that's true. It's interesting. I wonder what exactly happened with it. That they did so many PlayStation things, and then Xbox was like, "Hey, you want to do something with us?" They were like, "Sure, why not?" And it worked out okay.
I
It
feel
was
like
a fun game.
it's legal stuff. It's like, all right, we're not in a contract with them at this time, so we can do this, but we're in a contract
maybe
with
they just-
them, and we can't do this now.
And maybe they just really wanted to make a really upscaled Spider-Man game. So Sony was like, "Well, if you guys want to do that, you have to partner up with us." Microsoft has a lot of
Oh, there
money.
was Fuse too. I forgot about Fuse. That was another Xbox game. They
I
did.
don't even know
yeah.
what Fuse is, if I'm being honest.
I've
That's-
never
you-
I barely even know what that game is about.
They
I've seen it though because GameStop.
yeah, that's the thing. You learn about all. You probably remember Haze too. And you'd be the only one.
I absolutely hate that I can remember so many things from working at GameStop.
You remember all
because
those commercials that were on loop nonstop? Because
please,
I
please
remember
don't,
spending
please.
10 minutes in the store and just being like, oh, how do they not play more than just this one commercial?
Don't make me relive. my
Tony
trauma.
remembers. Tony remembers Haze. Tony was there. I was there too.
But one of the interesting things about working at GameStop, because I had just talked about about this to Rory, because he had said something to me about a game, and I was like, I think he said something like, "Didn't you say like, oh, like I don't know if you've ever heard of this?" And I was like, "No, I definitely know the game. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it looks like in terms of like gameplay, and I don't know how it plays, but I remember
know what
the
it
box.
is.
I remember this.
I remember selling it."
Cool guy. Cool guy. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Tony. Tony, you know you're always one of the gang. Tony's actually been on the podcast before, which
Yes,
y'all
you
can
can
watch
find
if you
at
go
that
do the
link.
exclamation point YouTube. Thank you so much. Tony, you got the emotes and the sub badge again. The emotes are great, by the way. I just want to take a moment to say to Trev that the emotes are fucking terrific.
I gotta check if we have another one, because I don't remember. I don't spend a lot of time on this account.
Oh my god.
So
Only to troll when we're not streaming.
I wanted to ask Melly about something sad. Which sounds like I'm being a jerk, but I'm not. Melly,
Yeah.
Twitch Sings is coming to an end soon.
Yes.
You have a history with Twitch Sings, so you take the wheel on this one.
Yeah. So when did they announced this earlier this week that they were, as of January 1st, 2020, they were going to be essentially deleting Twitch Sings from the universe. So I'm very sad about that.
Well,
Is it the end of the year?
Considering that
They're gonna start deleting clips and certain things. I think December 1st is when they said.
like
But
I would save like clips and stuff like somewhere if you want.
yeah, but everything is gonna be completely like down by January 1st. So
'Cause that's what I was gonna say, is that it's even sadder because they're actually even taking down anything that has to do with Twitch Sings. So like if you
Yeah.
have like a really fun thing that like you really enjoyed on Twitch Sings, like I would just save it to your hard drive.
I mean,
Post
it's
it
really
to YouTube.
yeah, post it to
Yeah, that's
YouTube.
true too.
I think the thing that is disappointing is that, I mean, yes, I know like Twitch Sings didn't have like a huge following comparatively to like a lot of other games, but there was still a significant community, and it's like pretty like interactive and supportive, amazing community. And I don't know, I just find it really unfortunate that, I mean, the fact that I know that they didn't really elucidate why, they just kind of said.
They did just say, didn't they?
Yeah,
I'm
they just said
assuming
this is happening.
DMCA and like
Yeah,
the
I mean
inability to
they've
pay
been
for those songs.
like like obviously before, like when the like earlier this year when all the DMCA issues were coming to light and people were getting banned for like karaoke and Just Dance and all that, or threatened to be banned, if they had certain content up on the platforms, that Twitch Sings became the safe haven for people to continue to do cover songs and do karaoke. So that became the designated safe area. But what I imagine is what most people are speculating is that the licensing costs to maintain that library were not outweighed by what the community. So I don't know. It's unfortunate that that it was most likely the money side of it and the licensing issues, which is probably more than Twitch wanted to deal with.
Well, what you said too about like the community, even though it's small, that there are so many people who are so dedicated, but not just dedicated, but also like kind of really tight knit. Because like I could probably count like maybe even on like at least on two hands people that have found your stream, Melly, just through Twitch Sings, that now stick around and just watch you play games because they like you that much, you know? Like, they just were like, oh, this is a cool content creator that I found through Twitch Sings.
Yeah, and you know, like the other thing too is that it's always been a free app, and so I know there were several streamers that were tweeting and like commenting about like they would be willing to pay like a monthly subscription or like whatever it was to like maintain the service if they needed to like generate some additional revenue. And I wanted to say what I think the stats on it was something where like 161,000 people were like on Twitch use it or either as a user or like a viewer. I don't know. So I don't know. It seems like there is. I don't know if it'd be possible to do that, but it seemed like that there was definitely a market for people wanting to.
Well, I think
pay for it.
I think it would be really cool if they did that. I mean, because like I definitely know a lot of people who would, you know, like, and not to mention like maybe even that, like, say if it was like a $4.99 monthly thing, and then they still add music. I know for sure there would be. I mean, think of like all the Hamilton people, like if they got Hamilton on there, like.
Yeah, and also I just really feel for the content creators that is like their primary presence on Twitch. Like, I mean, I of course I'm definitely gonna miss it, but I was never like 100% always doing
your primary thing wasn't.
I mean, I know you enjoyed it.
It honestly wasn't. You know? It was honestly wasn't until COVID where I was kind of more or less doing it once every couple weeks or so. Like, but I think there was a significant chunk of time where I only did it like once every couple months. So
yeah.
But it has been like a really nice way to interact with people, to meet new like other streamers or other people just in the community, especially since they added that party feature, which I've been utilizing a lot. But it was such a great idea and such a unique aspect to Twitch. So I'm really just gonna
like it's basically like a karaoke bar, but virtual, you know?
Yeah.
Which is good for, especially for COVID, right? Because of course you can't actually go to a real karaoke bar. I do. Cool Guy has an interesting point as well, which is that it does end with a sort of like, insofar as they didn't mention a reason why it's being taken away, they also didn't close the door on having a future similar thing. But I will say that I don't know if it's so much maybe the copyright, because of course Twitch probably went through the legal of making sure that they had the license to use the songs in the way they did first, so much as maybe that license costs a lot now, is like a recurring thing. It's like Netflix. It's exactly like Netflix, actually, in a sense, right? It's like Netflix, like, shows disappear, right? And it's like, damn, what happened to, you know, Buffy or whatever, right? And it's like, well, maybe someone else got that license, or, you know, it's like it's expensive to maintain on a yearly basis. It's really tricky. Since there's no reason, it doesn't shut the door on it. So maybe they'll roll out a better app for it in the future, or integrate it into some other future Twitch amalgam service or something.
I definitely think that people would be for it. I mean, because like what makes me think about like what it brings to mind for me as well are the people who, I mean, maybe not on Twitch, what I mean by this, but Just Dance has like their like unlimited like thing that you can do like free for a month, and then if you want to continue having like all of those songs, I know you can pay like a monthly or like a yearly or like every few months thing to get all of those songs.
See, that's where like the gray area comes in, because it wasn't Just Dance in terms of streaming that music on Twitch, wasn't Just Dance specifically, like those were the streamers that were getting banned or like getting threatened with a ban.
As I recall, that was one of the big issues, was Just Dance. Yeah, they had a lot of trouble, which is a shame, because I mean, I think it's pushing it, you know. But the thing is, like, people talk about fair use a lot on YouTube and on the internet in general, but it's one thing to believe in fair use and to believe that something is fair use, and it's another thing to get all the lawyers together and try to go to court. And a lot of people just don't want to fuck with that, you know? So I'd say that could be a part of it too.
That's a really sad part of all of this, because I knew like some mostly Just Dance streamers. I mean, I know like Ash was really getting into it. Like, she was having such a good time doing Just Dance on stream. But there are people that like that's pretty much what their whole like Twitch atmosphere was.
One person
Was
I know
mostly just doing
who's
Just
like
Dance.
explicitly Just Dance is Little Shia, I think. Little Sia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know she's explicitly just Dance. So it's like I don't know how she can continue from.
And now like I have seen a whole bunch of Twitch Sings people too that like I've followed a few people just because like maybe they okay, welcome.
Hey, Lillian.
God.
I guess she moved from behind you.
Well, I had to move her. For those
Lillian
of you
is
who didn't know,
Lillian is our guest streamer tonight. We're gonna be
Are
asking
you
her.
the best? Yeah, I mean, guys, I have to tell you something. It's not me that plays the games. It's actually Lillian. Why do you think I keep the controller down here?
It
Yeah,
took
Lillian was sitting behind me.
26 hours.
To shut up. She was sitting behind me, and I finally had to move her because I was like super close to the camera. But I didn't want to bother her. But like there have been a few Twitch Sings people that like I would just get on Twitch Sings like every once in a while, like maybe do like a few open duets, and then I would look to see like who had done mine. And some of the people that did mine, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna check them out on Twitch because obviously they have a Twitch account because it's Twitch Sings, so they have to have a Twitch account. And like I would go and see some of them, and like there were a few that literally all that they did on Twitch was Twitch Sings. Like that was their presence. And it just makes me sad now to think that a whole lot of those like Twitch users, like maybe they
I knew your time was on.
You hear that? You're a
I wonder what
renowned
this is.
world-renowned baby cat. Oh my gosh, she's looking at me like, what? Oh my god, I'm on camera. But yeah, like I feel really bad for some of them because I like that was their like at least their streaming presence. And like maybe they have people that watch them for Twitch Sings, and I'm sure a lot of them are thinking, well, like what am I gonna do now? I just did Twitch Sings like from my like phone or like from a small camera or something, and I don't like I have some followers like you know, like what am I gonna do now? You
Here's
know
what they do now. They go to the creative or whatever it's called now, and then just like put up a lyric video and then just mute it and then sing it a cappella. That's how you continue this.
I think it's a sad time. I know we had like so much fun on it. Like every once in a while, like I can remember one time in particular, I was having like a really bad night, and Melly was like, "Do you want to join on Twitch Sings with us?" And I was like, "Yes," and I had a lot of fun.
That's probably one of my more memorable favorite nights of doing.
Yeah,
Twitch
that
Sings,
was a fun.
when we
night.
had that big party going.
We also
That was
had
all-
we had Twitch things on this once. That was for when
Yeah,
we
we
did
did.
affiliate.
No,
But I didn't
this
save
is-
that VOD because I was like, fuck that.
This is interesting. I just read this in the news when I was like, you know, like trying to like learn more about what was going on with Twitch Sings. That apparently Spotify is considering launching their own karaoke like version. Did you guys hear about this?
Version of
No.
I haven't.
oh, like okay. So
Is it
it's
gonna
a
be like an
karaoke
app? Like,
I don't know. I think like it's kind of unclear, but supposedly, you know how like for certain songs, Spotify already has lyrics posted as you like listen to the song, like there's a visual
Yeah.
lyric. I think they're like talking about releasing that kind of like for more of the tracks or like for designated songs or like a designated karaoke bank.
Yeah,
through
so
Spotify.
you're saying they might, or I don't know if you're saying this, or maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but like, I guess in theory they could integrate that with Twitch, and that could be the new Twitch things.
Yeah, but it's so interesting that
I
this
imagine Spotify
this
has
just
a
dropped. Like
larger-
this news just dropped the same week that Twitch Sings is.
Yeah, Twitch things such
Yeah.
shuts down. Yeah.
Fuck,
So I don't
as a
know-
detective, you're not allowed to believe in coincidences.
But yeah, so they're they have like I guess one of their Spotify's like one of their engineers or whatever tweeted that quote Spotify is working on karaoke mode. Like
I mean, I
whatever
like
that
that.
means. And
I
saying that
imagine
the
they have a
vocal-
much larger library, and like since they've been around forever, like
I mean, they have.
handle.
Can we
the,
just talk about how beautiful it is that this tweet? I'm gonna post this tweet in chat, but this tweet, the tweet is a Rickroll that they used for an example. Let's see if it's. Oh, sorry. This tweet is like.
Are you sure it's not like them trolling us? And it's like
I mean, it very well could be. Hold on, I think this
Like with
is
the last Cyberpunk delay, that was supposed to be a delay, but it was really just Rick rolling
But yeah, this
lyrics.
person, Jane Wong, it works for Spotify.
That's pretty good.
But I thought that was interesting. But I don't know. I wonder if like this will kind of spawn additional like I know that there's like already other karaoke for like online karaoke services that people use, but I would just be there. I feel like the loss of Twitch Sings is gonna create like a huge gap in then Twitch, and so it'd be interesting to see what
they're gonna have to
follows
find
up.
something else to replace it.
Yeah, if Twitch itself comes up with it as they sort of hinted at. The only thing is like they hinted at expanding the music, like in some kind of music option. That's what they said in their blog, but they didn't specifically say karaoke. So I'd just be interested to know what that means, because I do know that they probably want to expand the music category. I know the article said that they have like 3 million, like the music category has 3 million followers, but Twitch Sings only comprises about 160,000 of that.
Okay.
So I would imagine that they would put something in place that more caters to the 3 million, more comprehensively than like 160K people. So I don't know what that looks like, but I would be curious to see them kind of expand and develop the music sector of Twitch, because I think it has a lot of potential that they have not tapped into yet, or known how to effectively like create discoverability and interaction in the same way.
Yeah. So Cool Guy says that Spotify will get more video capabilities in the next years, with old Rogan signing with them. He's referring to Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience, which is one of the most popular podcasts on the web.
Is he actually signing with them?
Probably will help out with Carrie. I think early this month was the first Joe Rogan Experience to be on Spotify. Because for years people wanted it on there.
Did you see? I think it was Myra Cyrus. Did you see when she roasted Joe Rogan on his own podcast? I thought that was.
I haven't seen that.
I heard about it, but I didn't actually watch it myself.
I saw the clip and I was like, damn.
I haven't seen it. I sort of like go in and out of watching Joe Rogan based on who the guest is. But I have not seen Miley Cyrus's yet, because it's really. I think it was was it yesterday or something? It was really recent.
Yeah, it was recent. Like all you need to take away from that is that clip. That's all you need.
I mean, what I would want to know is like if they ever did do a service like this, like if part of it, like would it be like a paid for thing? Like would it be part of Spotify Premium? Because if it is, I already have it, so that's good for me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because a lot of people do.
It's like
Spotify
Valhalla.
Premium.
You're already on it. Because it came with your one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
When does that come out?
Did I
That's
restream
what, November? That's a November release?
November 17th. Oh, that's my birthday.
Is it? Is that actually?
Yeah, that is my birthday. Yeah.
You should tweet at Ubisoft and be like, "Yo, can I get a free copy of this? 'Cause it's my birthday," and like see if they.
So, okay, hold on here. Sorry, there was actually a bunch of stuff here. So I guess Twitch is gonna change, but you still have time to do Twitch Sings.
Yeah,
if you've never tried Twitch Sings and you're eager,
it's just
a
countdown. Someone make one of those countdown websites and then like just have it keep going, and then like, all right, days until it ends.
It's actually a pretty large lead-in, considering that Mixer did a whole ass shutdown of their entire service. And they're like, "We done, boys!" And it was like 2 weeks later or something. It was like over. Like,
I remember being really flabbergasted by that, just because, like, I saw that it happened, and I mean, maybe I wasn't like up to date on Mixer stuff, but I can remember them just being like, "Mixer's done." It's like, wait, what is that?
I remember hearing about it and being like, "Man, thank God I didn't make that account on Mixer just in case." It's like, thank God I didn't have to jump ship.
I mean, like, Mixer, it was sort of funny. I've never seen more people be proven right about a single issue than when Mixer shut down, because what like a lot of the there was a diversity of opinions on like different services and stuff like that. But what I had heard from some of the some people that I respect, was going for big names doesn't make you the big name. You know what I mean? Just because you take a few of the big sharks out of the pool, it doesn't mean now you have the scariest pool, right?
And I mean, in retrospect, them signing the bigger guys, as you're saying, was probably like their Hail Mary, right? Like it was like the last ditch effort to try and generate
That was
some
their
more.
fault because that
I mean, I'm
let
sure
us
that is actually
rise.
part of it.
All right, and that's why. We're the reason
I'm
Mixer failed because too many people wanted to watch us when they took Ninja. and,
Yeah.
Shroud.
Hail Mary, except they did win the World Series. Yeah.
Oof. But like,
It's mixed
because
sports
that's
ball
actually,
metaphors.
that's like an interesting point actually, because I didn't know a lot of people I've only known one person that has said this, but I can remember a long time ago, like somebody that I knew was like, oh, so like you're streaming on Twitch still? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, I'm surprised you haven't like switched to Mixer. And I was like, I mean, I don't know why I would switch to Mixer. I've never used it. I'm just gonna stick with Twitch. That's where my friends are, I'm good. And I can remember them saying, well, I'm switching to Mixer because that's where Ninja is. So that means that all of the people are gonna go over there. And
That's
Boy,
not
how
it
wrong they were.
and that isn't how it works. Like people
That's
want
not how
to think that
anything
is.
works.
But like that's how people want to think it is. But it isn't, Like, because I'm sure there were a lot of people, like a lot of the hardcore, like Ninja or Shroud fans probably did move over to Mixer so they could watch them. But like, how much you want to bet that there probably were a lot of like actual streamers that were big fans of some of those content creators that did switch over to Mixer, but they still continued to stream on Twitch.
That's the thing I
So-
never got. Like, just because they're on a different platform doesn't mean like you have to ditch one for the other. Like, you can
No.
have both accounts.
Well, it's like I
You
still
just
watch
watch
YouTube.
Ninja when he's on.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
exactly. We also watch YouTube. Like, I never bought that as an argument, mostly because I think that's been disproven every time it's ever been tried. Like, there's something similar in MMA, right? So, like, there's a sport, MMA, and then there's an organization that puts off that sport called the UFC, right? Just like, there's a sport, American football, and the organization that puts it off is usually the NFL. There's the CFL too and other associations. But, like, there's a strong tie between the sport name itself and the name of the organization that puts the sport off, right? To the point where some people think the sport is called the UFC. But there have been other leagues that have tried, and one of the first things they try to do is try to get a big name UFC fighter to sign over. So they'll pay them way more money for them to go over. And it's never worked. Not once. Multiple different leagues have tried this. And it just doesn't work because
So why are they still
people-
trying? How have they not learned about this?
that's the thing, because when people think about streaming, Twitch is part of the verb, like the verbiage of what they think about, right? Like Twitch streaming. It's just like UFC fighting, you know what I mean? Like the brand recognition is so strong.
It's not like
That
Ninja's
it's
Twitch.
possible.
Like, that's not like if it
Exactly.
was Ninja's Twitch, then them taking Ninja would have been like a more detrimental thing to the platform. But it's not.
Exactly. Yeah, and what happens when those big UFC fighters go, like as Tony says, when you see a famous UFC name go over, the UFC just makes another big name, and that's just exactly what happens. It's like, okay, Ninja's gone and Shroud is gone. Well, someone else will rise, and then they'll be the biggest Twitch streamer. Like it's just there's always someone to take their place.
There was another like example or whatever, like when those I think it was the DMC game, the one like when that vacuum of power is gone, like who will be there to fill it? And it was just like that's essentially what's happening. Like when you take one person out, it's like someone's got to fill that role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you don't think there are people who when Ninja was the most popular Twitch streamer were eager to take his spot? There were a lot of really hungry popular Twitch streamers that would have wanted that.
That's actually a very good point. Not to mention, like, I don't think, like, I can't imagine, I mean, I'm sure that there was one instance, because most of the time in life, there's at least an instance of something. But, like, I don't think there would be very many instances where there's a person, like, a random person. Okay, so, like, Ninja mostly, like, he mostly, like, dealt in Fortnite, Like, it's not like there would be some random streamer playing Halo, on Mixer, that somebody would just come into their stream and be like, hey, what's up? I showed up here because Ninja switched over from Twitch to here, so here I am.
Yeah,
You
of
know?
course you can ask a question. You can absolutely ask a question. We gladly accept. Also, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you here. If you're new here, and I think you are, we're Streamers Become Human, a weekly 2-hour-long podcast. We discuss the latest gaming news and stories and such sort of things. There are 4 of us here. There's links to each of our Twitch streams down below if you'd like to watch any of us individually. And we gladly accept audience questions. It's a big part of it, actually. Sorry, Morgan, fire away.
That's just pretty much what I was saying. Because I don't think that there would have been an instance where somebody just came into some random person's stream who's playing a completely different game from somebody. And they just be like, yeah, I'm here because this person moved over from this platform, you know?
Yeah,
I just don't think
exactly.
there's that much
That's
of
pretty
a thing,
accurate.
you know? Well, because it's not like when Shroud came back to Twitch. I mean, it's not like people were like going into his stream, or not just his stream, but like other people's streams, you know? Going like, yeah, I'm back on Twitch because Shroud's back here. So here I am, and you're in some random person's stream, you know? I just don't think that there's... And people don't usually announce that anyways, not to mention, but I don't think
think
it's that big of a thing.
The only thing that came out of like people switching was like memes. It was just like people going, "Hey, did you know
Yeah,
you
big
switched to
memes, yeah.
Mixer?" It was like, "Hey,
And
did you know
money.
you switched to
And
Mixer?"
money.
I was like, what?
And they made some money off of it, those streamers, right? Because then they got their money and they got to come back. You know, like it's like
yeah,
really
I don't know.
or-
If I were Twitch, I'd be like, "Nah, you fucking left." Like you.
Hey, you're banned.
I saw that. I saw like
Bye.
from a mile away. I'll be honest with you. I clicked
Yeah.
on
I
it.
kind of did too. I was like, this is either going to go very poorly or very, very not
But
good.
you know what? Props to you for using the metric system at least.
So they weren't an American
Shout out.
degenerate, which is wild because I would have thought that was an American person.
Question! Oh, no, he did. No, it is a question. He just didn't have...
Wait, Tony, did you see
didn't
that
have a question mark.
they're bringing
have a question
back the Digimon trading card game? I don't know if you saw that. Which, for one, I didn't know they fucking had one.
For what?
What
about
they have a Digimon card game.
Wait.
It's a trading card game. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, do you
Digimon
mean like a
instead.
new one?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought you meant that you just didn't know that there were Digimon cards. I was like, oh my god. How do I tell him?
And before Trev gets into super into Digimon cards now.
Oh, that's gonna be our next series, alright?
Bill tries to say he's not a weeb. Zippy's here!
Yo,
Let me
Zippy.
tell you guys something. I'm gonna tell you all a story, okay? And it's about one of the top 3 DOS pinheads on Twitch and
He's
probably
playing
on Mixer.
Super Mech something. I'm
They,
pretty sure.
He was playing Mech Warrior 5, I believe.
Yeah, Voltron.
so-
Yeah.
Zippy DOS Pinhead is an absolutely wonderful streamer. I'm a huge fan.
You better
of
follow,
his
or you will
myself.
be banned, as the announcement says.
Absolutely. My favorite part is that the command gives 2 links to his channel.
Yeah, I don't, look, I'll be honest with you. I copy and pasted it, and then it's supposed to work correctly, and sometimes it does work correctly, and other times it doesn't. So.
Hey Zippy, how are you doing, by the way?
Zippy, you
shout
missed
out to
somebody
Zippy.
being banned.
Wonderful. So in Japan, it's incredibly popular and gets cards almost every single year in the little collector set or as bonuses with Digivice toys, which is a
That's
word I've
dope.
just learned. Digivice.
Digivice.
Yeah, no, that's their little thing they use to like evolve or digivolve because they can't say evolve. It's a digivolve.
I can't remember all the words in Digimon. There's too many like complicated names in Digimon.
It's like
No
Mortal
big-
Kombat, how they spell everything with a K instead of a C because the C doesn't exist. Except it does because it's Johnny K. But you know, whatever, it's fine.
But yeah, I was gonna say though, because like what you guys were saying before about like using different platforms, you know, because like in terms of like, I mean, I've watched people on Facebook gaming before, you know, I'm still a Twitch person, you know,
Yeah.
and I still use YouTube even though there are streamers, like live streamers on YouTube as well, but like again too, like I have Spotify Premium, like, and I use it to listen to music, but every once in a while I also still listen to music on YouTube, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you can use different things, absolutely, you know, and not just switch over to things just just because somebody
It's
was
a
like,
very
oh, like I use this thing, you know.
Cult mentality to just be sitting there like, oh, if this happens, then like I can't do this or this. Like why? Like, well,
I mean, you could definitely be like a lot of people who watched Henry Cavill build a PC, and suddenly people were like, I kind of want to build a PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just
I mean, it could
jumping on the
definitely happen,
bandwagon.
you know?
Oh,
That's,
nice, Tony.
That's what we
gonna be fun.
call being a new age gamer.
Hi,
You'll
Ella.
understand that reference when I finish the video.
Yeah,
but-
me and Trev recorded another video today. That'll be up on the YouTube channel pretty soon. Let's see, what else was there? Well, there was, of course, there was Gamescom, which was last week, or last weekish, the end of August, that started on the 28th.
Yeah.
Or the 27th. We've had another sort of, like, I don't want to say like niche gaming thing, because Gamescom is not really niche, but there was also a niche gaming convention, if you will, that took place earlier this week.
One quick thing I can note is
Yeah, far away.
another rumor, or I don't know if it's a rumor if it was confirmed, but the Switch is supposed to get like a version that has 4K or whatever, but it's like, why I don't.
There's
think
like a rumor that they're supposed to be doing like a pro version of it,
yeah,
which I
that supports
assume.
4K, and I'm just like, I don't.
I think that
you
there
can
will be
run
one. I just don't know when.
in 4K. Like,
Can I like say something that's kind of unpopular? I think there's too much hype around 4K and resolution generally. I
so
think frame rate is way more important.
you should bring this
Like-
up to Ash, because Ash thinks 4K is a scam.
Oh, well, I mean, me and Ash could probably actually have a good conversation about this, and I will bring it up with her next time I'm talking
I
to
think
her.
her opinion of
Oh.
that changed the other night watching Princess Mononoke, because like.
Did you watch it in 4K?
Well, I don't know, but she was talking. Well, we were talking about how different it looked streaming it from HBO Max versus streaming it on a Blu-ray or a DVD, and I don't know. I actually didn't know what was.
This
like,
is
if
just the
it- how
branding
it
tricking
could be
you. Just
formatted.
because it's called HBO Max means it tricks your mind into thinking it's better. It's not.
No, it literally looks better. I don't. I mean, I
It's a
don't really
placebo
know.
effect.
Like, honestly, I feel the same though, because like sometimes like I'll be like, I can't watch this on the DVD version. Where's my Blu-ray version?
Yeah.
But
It does just look so nice and crisp, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
4K is a scam.
I do like what Tony said, where not everyone is ready for 4K. So there are things that not everyone is ready for that are still good to come out. Like, for instance, like VR is a great example of that, right? It's good that VR came out before everyone else was ready, because you can get things like Half-Life Alyx that make people want to buy VR. 4K is not like that, right? It's not like, I mean, in theory, I guess you could go over to your friend's house and be like, this looks amazing, I'm buying a 4K everything. But I kind of doubt that will happen. Yeah, to be honest, like, I really think, like, a lot of, like, okay, Crackdown 3 came out on the Xbox One, like, last 2 years ago. I don't even
I
remember.
don't
It's
even know what
Crackdown
this
3. I
game is,
repressed it.
but alright. Yeah.
Well,
It was a while ago now that I
I'm-
think about it, yeah.
It's a very modern Xbox One game, and it didn't run at 60 frames a second. So before any console should be worrying about 4K, show me a console game running at a decent frame rate.
in 4K.
And
yeah,
then,
no.
like, show me all your games running at a good frame rate before you ever talk to me about new resolutions. I don't want to see. I don't. Yeah, I like what Tater. What did Tater just say? Honestly, I'm fine with 1080p, 120 FPS. Also, like most PC gamers, not only don't have 4K monitors, a lot of
That's true.
we're still making the shift to 144 hertz or 165 hertz or whatever monitor you're shifting up to. Like, a lot of people are still playing on 60 hertz monitor, so like we're still getting there.
The only reason I'm on 60 hertz is because I got scammed, and these monitors aren't actually 144.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about the frame rate. It's just it's a more, like, I think that's a more critical issue, and I think, truthfully, I think gamers will notice it more. I think it's one of the big things you notice when you, like, I think you notice 144 hertz monitor right away when you start playing on one. So then we can fix that first, and I don't think we're ready for 4K. I'm sorry, I hate 4K.
Can it run
Like,
Crisis at 4K? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, like, I just
That's an old
like-
game.
Hey Lyle, how are you? I'd rather have a game that has a good storyline compared to a game that requires ludicrous graphics. Yeah, I agree, and I think like even within like I care more about frame rate than I care about resolution. I'm fine with 60 frames. Like honestly, like if it's a certain game, yeah. Go ahead.
Like for me, though, like sometimes, like I think I can look at something and I'm like, I can't tell if this is 4K or not. Like I can understand like things will definitely move faster,
Well,
like look crisper and everything.
The human eye, I'm
But-
pretty sure, can only perceive up to like 1080 or whatever. It can't process anything beyond.
We haven't evolved that far yet.
Yeah, like you need to be like aliens or whatever. Like that's.
But like for me, like I just want things to look nice, you know. Like that's all it really is for me. Like I just want it to look nice. Like I don't need things to be
Like
like
cones and
super
rods.
HD perfect that like I can't tell what's real and what's
mine and
video
Rory don't
game.
work.
Like I mean that'll be cool when and if we ever get to that. Just use Parsec. Were we just talking about this?
I was talking about this last night with Morgan because I was telling her the story about
It has
how
cones.
how I don't like the movie Solo, and that came up in the story. But yeah, that's a whole nother. I can't start talking about Solo again.
We talked about Solo for a really long time last night.
Yeah, Morgan also
I was,
likes
I was
Solo,
just
so
kidding.
turn
Sophia.
out.
I was saying that our rods and cones don't work because we're color.
Only the mantis shrimp can appreciate the 4K.
Oh my god, you're right. I want, like, can you imagine if we could just talk to them? Like, what do your elf eyes see?
Yep.
But yeah, like for me, I just want something to look nice, you know. Like I like things that look nice and crisp, and that's about it. Like I don't need the big expensive stuff. I guess. I mean, it's nice to have. Don't get me wrong. I guess, but
Yeah, like,
am I gonna be able to tell though?
and I don't
Because
like
that's-
how. Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Like the worst thing would be like, can you imagine like putting two of them next to each other and just having a layman be like, "Tell me the difference," like, and for them to be, "Oh, this is the same image," like, "Oh no, it's not, you nerd."
The
Oh, well, Noel, because of the mantis shrimp.
Well, I'm up to
who have
YouTube to watch
who have the mantis shrimp, for those of you who are not aware, has up to 16 cones in their eyes versus the human eye, which has 3.
Okay, is the mantis shrimp like a thing everyone knows? Because I don't know what this is. I'm assuming
You can
it's
get
a
a
giant-
mantis shrimp
It's a
in
giant
Animal
mantis
Crossing.
shrimp.
So they
Yeah,
have,
but I don't play that game.
Well, you have a Switch now, so now you don't have any excuse.
Yeah, but I'm still not gonna play that game.
I've heard that before.
buy him Animal Crossing now.
Look, I already played fucking Astral Chain and said every other 5 minutes that this is the most anime shit
Okay,
I've
you
ever
played
seen.
Oh, okay,
a
just-
long time the other day.
So, like,
too.
I know we have a couple colorblind people here. So, like, you know how we can see more colors than you guys?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, rub it in, yeah.
Well, we have the mantis shrimp.
the mantis shrimp can see way more colors than all of us. So just, you know, we're like...
So
that's
on the hex
simulation.
checker, it can see every single number and
Oh,
color.
Melly to me and Trev is like, the mantis shrimp is to me what I am to you.
I'm saying we know how you feel now, supposedly, compared to a mantis shrimp.
Yeah, but you're never gonna have a conversation with a mantis shrimp when you're like, hey, so you see a lot of
We might
colors, huh?
someday. Maybe we will someday.
Yeah.
You never
The
know.
technology doesn't exist yet, but maybe someday it will.
So there's also, by the way, another reason I don't want to hear consoles talk about 4K is because consoles have a massively long history of lying about resolution and frame rate. They're like, this game runs at 1080 at 60, except when it doesn't. And I'm like, oh yes, of course, yeah, 1080 at 60, yeah. And then you find out it runs at like not 60 at 900 or something. Like, it's can't stand it. Yeah, I'm sorry, console marketing
Just
drives
get
me up the wall. So, as I mentioned, there was another gaming convention thing announcement event called Realms Deep that was earlier. It was late last week, technically. I haven't gotten to watch all the stuff from it yet. But if you are
Is
into
that like a
PC
place where they like announce stuff or?
Yeah, they announced things. Yeah,
Oh.
and it's put off by 3D Realms, who's a rather historic PC game developer.
I know that company or that developer, I guess. So.
Yeah. So Duke Nukem, Wolfenstein, that sort of thing. That's what you'll remember them from.
Wolfenstein's one. Yeah.
And
Kaiser.
they've done a lot of different things, and they're
Night Tater.
Hey Kaiser, how are you? Yeah, have a great night.
And hi, Kaiser.
Tater, remember that person's gonna track you down.
That's right. Yeah. We found someone in Overwatch today who's going to track Tater down, apparently, according to their message. Seems unlikely at best, but so if you're into PC gaming, and especially if you're into retro-inspired PC gaming, you probably owe it to yourself to go, to watch Realms Deep when it happens in the future, but to go and catch up on some of the announcements, and in particular, there were some things that were highlighted there. So Ultra Kill, which was announced earlier this year. Well, it had a demo out earlier this year, and I played it on my stream, and it was a blast.
Okay, I was like, I know that name for some reason. I was like, I don't know why. I was like, okay, I've seen you play.
It's the shooter. It's the shooter that has the Devil May Cry ranking system. Like, it's a shooter, but you get style points.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was that the one that like you had to like move back and forth, and then like you? It was like a kind of like a puzzle game, like where you had to like move square to square, and then like the enemies would move in, and then you would shoot.
That was Vaporeon. That was also really good.
Oh, Vaporeon. Yeah,
but no, this was This
Vaporeon. Vaporeon, because that's what I said to Rory.
So that game now, Ultra Kill, has entered early access. Huge shout out to Kilroy Killjoy, who bought me the game. Hugely grateful for that, and I'm going to be playing that. I'll play it tomorrow. Why not? Not on stream, but off stream. So I'm really excited for that. Guys, so that's one thing they announced. There was also some further look into Gloomwood, which is the new Thief-inspired immersive sim from developer Dylan Rogers and Dave, whatever Dave's last name is. That's a really exciting, super Thief inspired and super RE4 inspired, and it's got an RE4 inspired inventory system, which is really exciting. And there was also an announcement of a new immersive sim called Graven, which is actually a 3D Realms game. And I will post a trailer for Graven here in the description. In the chat. Sorry, me and Trev been doing YouTube videos. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear me do the classic like, comment, subscribe thing, you can watch the other playlist.
So there is the trailer for Graven there, and if you wanted to see Ultra Kill gameplay, you can just look up Ultra Kill.
Wait, what is the other one called? I honestly don't remember what the other one is called.
But we got a command for that somewhere out there. You can just find us on the YouTube channel and look there.
I don't remember the command I made.
So I'm really there were other announcements, but those are the three that stood out really strongly to me. But also, I think they announced that Ghost Runner is going to be in beta. The Ghost Runner beta, the sign up stops. You can't sign up any later than the 13th. So just a reminder here for anybody, mostly me and Trev, who are going to be signing up for the Ghost Runner beta. But also, I know Corrupt is here. So if Corrupt wants to sign up for the Ghost Runner beta, you got to do that before the 13th.
Did it not? I could have sworn I made one.
So there.
Oh, I know. Why the fuck did I call it over?
Quite a lot of good stuff there. In particular, I think Graven. Well, I'm excited about all the other stuff, but of course I knew all the other stuff was coming. But the announcement of Graven, I think, is huge. It looks incredible. I'm nothing but impressed. Overview, yeah, that's one, yeah. So yeah, just look into 3D Realms if there's anything that stands out to you there. Again, retro-inspired PC games. It's a wonderful little subgenre, and New Blood Interactive publishes a lot of these, and they're probably one of the best publishers going right now. You might know them from their famous slogan, "We hate money." They tend to be very consumer-friendly, and a lot of those developers are very consumer interactive as well. I know I follow a bunch of those guys on Twitter, and they tend to interact with fans really well. And you could tell they're genuine fans of the genre. Dylan Rogers, who makes Gloomwood, is a huge stealth game fan. He's like an expert player of Splinter Cell and Dishonored and stuff like that. So it's good to see passionate people make games.
Immersive sim fan. Because
Yes, actually, yeah. The 3D Realms are the guys that did the Duke Nukem games. Well, the good ones. That's true. Yeah, the Duke Nukem games and some Wolfenstein stuff as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff actually. So highly recommend. Now I wanted to talk about something Kaiser mentioned, which was, did anybody see the Dune trailer? So,
Absolutely.
Is that the movie
Yes,
that everyone was talking about? Like was that the one?
I don't know if
that
we're
Ash got
talking about it,
really,
but
It
really,
looks
excited
incredible.
over?
It looks incredible, by the way.
So, okay, so there's a couple standouts about about this project to me personally. Not the least of which is it's being directed by Denis Villeneuve, who's a Canadian director who's done some awesome movies. Like a lot of people know him from Arrival, a lot of people know him from Sicario, but I think his crowning achievement.
What is Dune? Because I don't know what this is. Is this
we'll get to that.
thing?
We'll get to that. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get to that. He also did Blade Runner 2049, which is one of the best movies of the decade, in my opinion. In fact, I think it was my number 2 movie of the decade when I did my movies of the decade. So, I think it's going to be something really wonderful.
Okay,
now, is Dune an old person thing? Is an interesting question. Dune is a novel. It's not.
That's why I don't know what it is.
Science fiction thing.
It came out in the 60s.
Yes.
Sometime in the 60s.
So it is an old person thing.
In Dune.
What'd you say?
There have been
I've never seen it.
there have been iterations of it. I've actually never seen it. I just know that it's like a big deal in sci-fi. I just never got around to watching it. There was a movie that came out in the 80s and then a TV show that came out when did this?
I feel like
early
didn't watch that movie.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I didn't.
The
I
only
didn't
reason
see the others, Tony. So I didn't.
The only reason I felt like I should watch it was, you guys remember that show Chuck that was on with Zachary Levi?
Yeah.
I
only remember that
Adam
because he was
Baldwin.
in it.
Yeah. No,
with Adam Baldwin. And the only reason I was like, I should get around to watching that sometime was because in Chuck's bedroom he had a big old Dune poster like above his bed, and I was like, you know what? I love the show. I bet this was had a huge influence on this TV show. I probably should get around to watching this movie at some point, and I never did. To my shame.
Chuck was a huge nerd, by the way.
Yeah.
The lore context for that show there. I kind of forget about that show sometimes.
Yeah, honestly,
I was
until
in
you brought it
high
up,
school
I was like, oh yeah, that didn't.
Is the TV show better, Kaiser? Oh wait, Best Dune is from Westwood Studios.
How many times has this been reiterated in a different media?
That's a really good question.
I don't know, actually.
But
Get,
knowing
Spider-Man
really,
approach, where,
knowing nothing about the film,
9,000
knowing
times.
really nothing about it other than it's like this cult, it's got this huge cult following, like the sci-fi cult following. Like the trailer itself looked incredible. Like I am very intrigued and excited about watching that. So
I saw people talking.
it was
about
a really well done trailer
on Twitter, and I was like, I'm not watching this. I don't know.
I actually will say I actually I also think the trailer was good, and for what it's worth, I usually hate trailers. I don't even like trailers as a concept, to be honest. Generally speaking,
How would they market?
without them
How would
entirely.
you prefer them to market things?
You could, truthfully, I think with how many movies have had abysmal trailers but turned out to be really good, I think you could just market it with actors and directors. I think that would be enough. Most people don't.
Are you
need
saying
to
just
see a trailer, I
posters
think,
with
to see something.
something that in
Yes,
the background?
go with that. Trailers, so many good movies have been given bad impressions by bad trailers.
I'm not against trailers, as a unit. I think it's more ones that are not done well, and most of them aren't done well.
Yeah, that's
You know
the
what I
problem.
mean?
Or
Okay,
ones that give too
yeah.
much away.
Yeah, the ones that give the entire plot of the movie away.
It's all right,
in,
so
you
you're
know,
telling me all I had to do
a
was
minute.
watch this 2-minute trailer, and I would have been fine.
The amount
For
of
me
time.
also.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, no.
No, you go.
Morgan, you go.
Yeah, we're gonna be the
I'll break the
for
tie.
a long time.
See, and for me, as somebody that does not watch movie trailers at all, Because like most of the time, like, well, not lately because I haven't been to the movies in, oh my god, since February.
Was it Sonic when we saw Sonic?
I think it was when we saw
Or-
Sonic.
No, we saw another movie after we saw Sonic. What was it?
No, it was 1917. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like that was one of the last movies I think I saw in the theater. 1917.
I don't
God,
even
oh
know
my
this
god,
is a
that makes me
movie.
feel awful. Because I was gonna say, because like, I was seeing like a movie like, I don't know about once a month, but like most of the time, like Rory and I, like especially like every time Rory and I saw each other, like we would go and see a movie. So especially lately, but for me as somebody who does not watch movie trailers often, like for me, I actually like the most of the time, like the only time that I'm really actually seeing movie trailers is when I'm at the movies. And I feel like for like a theater trailer, you really have to grab me, you know? Like you have to make something boil up inside me that makes me feel like, oh my god, that was such a cool trailer and I want to see that movie. But like without telling me too much, but telling me enough, you know?
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
That's me in Monster. I don't think there's been a Monster Hunter trailer movie. Or I think there has been, but it's only been in like Japan. But like once I saw that they were making a movie out of it, I was like, oh, I'm definitely seeing this.
I personally, the amount of times there's been a really good movie or something, and I've had to been to a friend, like, go in blind, don't watch the trailer. Like, I agree. I kind of agree with Melly. In a perfect world where trailers were done better, I'd like them. I'd like them as like a hype idea, but I have to say that really feels like an unrelated world to the world we live in. They're so bad. Like,
Okay, do you have a trailer that you think was done really well? Like, just in mind, offhand?
well, I mean, so the immediate giveaway one is the Dune trailer because I just watched it and it's awesome. In terms of another trailer that I think was done really, really, really well. Oh damn, this question deserves a good answer.
Yeah.
I
remember. I mean, I can only think of one maybe that like got me really excited about watching a movie that I also don't feel like gave away too much was I think remember when I saw the Force Awakens trailer come out. I think that one it actually instilled confidence in me. You know what I mean? Like I was unsure. I was unsure about episode 7.
Oh, okay.
And I remember seeing that trailer and thinking like, okay, I'm actually excited about watching this. Even though there was no doubt in my mind I was gonna go see whatever Star Wars movie came out next. Like that, you know, but I think for me that like I remember I got really hyped about that movie.
I always
when it came
got
out.
really excited for any of the Harry Potter movies. Like I always saw like the trailers in theaters, and every time I would just hear like it would have like something going on with like the music getting all like big and freaky, and then at the very end of the trailer will show like something Harry Potter and blah blah blah, and it just goes dun 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 dun, dun. And I'm like,
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
glad you did that because I was gonna try to do it, but I didn't remember how it went. And I was like,
I have an answer to your question, Trev. Basically, any Christopher Nolan movie, actually, and in particular
Including
the one
the
I'm
Batman
thinking of,
ones?
I haven't seen Tenet. I haven't seen Tenet yet, and believe me, I'm like, dude, if you were here physically with me in the room, you'd see the smoke rising out of my ears, that it doesn't come through on the camera. That I haven't seen Tenet yet because I'm staying away from theaters. But the Tenet trailer is incredible. It's so.
I remember too because we were at the theater and I remember seeing the trailer for it and Rory got so excited and I was like, we should see that together, and then he got more excited. One of the other things too for me is that like I'm an emotional person, and so if you can like really like make me feel like I want to cry already just from the trailer, you've kind of done like you've done it for me, you know. Like I can remember like I think it was like because I love Beauty and the Beast, and even though there were things in the Beauty and the Beast movie that were okay, like after seeing the movie,
you mean
like
the
it
live
was
action one, or do you mean
the live action one? Yeah. Like, and it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Like, you know that, but we're talking about trailers here. I can remember like seeing the trailer for that for the first time in theaters, because like I said, like most of the time the only time I'm seeing a trailer is when I'm watching a movie in theaters. That's the only time that I tend to see them. And I had refused to watch the Beauty and the Beast one, and then I watched it and I almost was crying. I was like, I'm so excited because I love Beauty and the Beast. But any of like those Pixar movies, like Inside Out, for example, like any of those kinds of movies, like if they can make me want to almost cry, like I want to see that, you know? And I think when it comes to movies like that too, like to really evoke like some kind of like emotional response for like those, like, I don't want to call them kids movies, but like for animated movies, like I think that kind of helps at times too, you know?
The
God,
Beast.
Tony. So I don't want to segue or anything, but I know Melly really, really wants to talk about this game because she's been loving playing it so much.
Well, it's interesting because it's not so much that I'm like want to talk about this game. I always find like trends fascinating and like trying to understand like why in this particular moment in time is this game popular.
Oh, we did one
so,
of
like,
these for Fall Guys.
Well, Fall Guys, yeah. So I was like, I kind of am always interested in the kind of like the game of the moment. So the game I wanted to kind of bring up is Among Us. For if you've been living under a rock and don't know what Among Us is, it is kind of in the style of Mafia. If you're familiar with that.
Not the PC game Mafia.
Not the
which
PC game Mafia.
When everyone said, everybody's like, it's like Mafia. I was like, oh, wow, awesome.
You guys-
And Morgan was like, I love Mafia. I was like, Morgan's played Mafia? I was super confused.
Mafia, the game where you play with like a deck of cards and you deal them out to people, and somebody's a mafia and kills some, and you have to figure out.
A card game.
A game I've never heard of.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like a whodunit type of game, where if you've ever played Clue,
The
you have to
way
figure
it
out
was
who the
explained
murderer
to me
is.
was Trouble in Terrorist Town, and it was like just like that.
So essentially, you spawn on a spaceship. You've got like 4 to 10 people in your crew. There's a certain number of murderers
That was
among
a
you, and
trend.
you have to escape the spaceship if you are a crewmate, or if you're an imposter, you try to kill everybody before they have the chance to escape.
And you're like
So-
paired up in that game, right? So I've never played it, and I've barely seen people play it. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
You go in and you have like, you're in
So
like
you-
groups or whatever, and you're supposed to complete tasks.
No, you're one group. You're trying to escape a spaceship, and so you have a certain designated amount of tasks that you need, like fix the comms, to turn the lights back on. So you all have to disperse and get the tasks
Sounds
on
like
to
Dead
escape.
by Daylight, but like
Right.
less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then all the while, there's, depending on how many people you decide to be the imposters, there's like 1 to 3 imposters among you that will go around and, instead of doing tasks, will go around and target crew members and start killing. And so if you've come across a dead body, you have to report the dead body, and then it triggers what they call an emergency meeting, which is essentially a group discussion. And so
That's
you have
the
to
voting, isn't it? Where it's like,
yeah, then you vote somebody out who you think who the murderer is. So there's a lot of like lying, like so if you're an imposter, you're trying to cover your tracks.
This is the when you lose friends segment.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Noelle's back. So I played it for the first time over the weekend. I had no idea. I'd heard of the game for a few weeks, but I hadn't actually played it myself. False, I have kept every friend. And I have to say, it is enjoyable, and it is highly stressful to play.
And it's only like $5
because
apparently.
either you're stressed out because
dang,
you're worried.
really?
Yeah, so it's $4.99 on Steam. And it's stressful for a number of reasons. So if you're a crewmate, you're either stressed out trying to get your tasks done and also not be murdered. And if you're an imposter, you're trying to, like isolate a crew member, kill them without anybody watching, and then also like come up with some kind of alibi to explain like you're
Sounds
either
like my Reaper gameplay. Just isolate somebody,
What was
kill
that?
them, and then walk
Yeah.
away.
So that's basically the premise of the game, and it's been out since 2018. But
Wait, really?
it came out in 2018, and just in the past month, I believe the stats are it was the most streamed game on Twitch as of yesterday, and it was let me see if I'm gonna get the stats right.
Okay, are people still playing Fall Guys though? Or is like has that been blown out and now this?
No,
is
people are still
taken
playing.
over?
Yeah, people
Me
are
and
still
Morgan-
playing.
Me and Morgan were playing just the other day.
But is it more popular? Obviously, it's more popular now. But like, I feel like the hype for because I don't feel like I see a lot of
I
people
think the
playing.
hype's kind of died down.
Yeah.
It's
for
hype,
Fall Guys.
but people are still playing it though. It's not
Yeah.
like the game is dead or anything. But so this, I guess, there's been like server issues because the popularity of this game just surged on the like in August. So there's like 1.5 million people, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
so it's the Fall Guys problem.
have been playing
Literally,
it.
we didn't know it was going to get this popular. Now it's really popular and we're having servers. Yeah.
Right.
Well, one of the things that because I haven't gotten to play it yet, and now I mean I didn't know it was $5.99. Maybe I'll buy it. but one of the things that I kind of want to kind of like bring to everybody's attention too. It's like one of the interesting things I find about this is that it has two things here. It's I mean, it might sound like it's not very simple, but I think when you start to play it, you actually realize that it is simple gameplay. But like it has simple gameplay, but even more than that, it has a simple art style. And games like Fall Guys has a very simple art style, and then now so does Among Us. Like games like these, like that are just very simple and fun to play. Like that's one of the things that I think is so interesting because you don't always need the games that have like a billion mechanics and you can see the pores on the person's faces, you know, or like you need like overarching storyline for it to be an enjoyable game.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have arms in this game. I don't understand how
It's
you
just
stab
like blobs
people.
of, like, legs.
I mean, somehow you manage to stab people without arms.
Maybe they're just all psychic.
Why is everyone? So
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause, like, don't you have to like tickety tap on the on like the keyboard and stuff to be able to do tasks?
Yeah.
A bean blob.
But I think
Isn't
I
that
mean,
what Fall Guys is?
like,
It's just jelly beans.
I was just so fascinated by this game because I do think like obviously like Twitch has a lot to do. I think Noelle was the one who kind of told me that when we were chatting. I was like, why is this game suddenly popular? It's been out for 2 years, and she had mentioned like, well, a bunch of streamers started playing it recently, and like it just seems like everybody had started playing
How
it.
how did they find this?
Hey, Gio, know what's happening.
Who finds this and who makes this the trend? That's the mystery I want to
It
solve.
has to be like I assume that I don't think it's just like one big streamer that's like I want to try this game on my
'cause
stream.
I
I'm
don't
sure
see fucking Ninja playing in it, so like.
because I'm sure what it is that what happens is that there are small streamers that have probably been playing it for a good while, and then like coupled with that, and then maybe
Like, I know Pearl's been playing it for a while.
yeah.
Like,
So
she-
like maybe I actually remember her talking about it too. Like a long while back, I do remember her talking about a game where you played like as an imposter. I do remember that too. But I'm sure what probably happens is that there's a lot of smaller people playing it, and then just maybe non-Twitch streamers playing it as well. And then some of these like these bigger Twitch streamers might see somebody smaller playing it, and they think that seems kind of fun, so they play it. And then when they play it, they're like, this would be kind of a fun game to play on stream. So then they do it, and then more people start playing it, and then more people start streaming it from that. And so I'm sure like that's all like a factor in it,
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is like I know we like sometimes we like I think gamers could be like a little bit elitist about mobile, but like mobile has really helped this game because it's free. It's like it's $4.99 on Steam, but I believe it's free on mobile.
Yeah, that's what Ella said.
Yeah, so it's like
$3.99, I think.
yeah, yes, you have a free mobile game that's accessible to people that aren't typically on Twitch or whatever.
Ice is playing right into Trev's hand now. Trev's just to negotiate higher price before you know it.
That's a bribe.
He's gonna be buying Trev a house, and Trev's just gonna be fixing the lampshade. And he's gonna in the new house, he's gonna put a lamp with a crooked lampshade.
I'm gonna buy so many lamps just to crooked the chains, and then like have a giant.
But this
thing.
stuff, it really
Oh my
does
goodness.
interest me though, because like it makes me wonder. Like I wish that we could like find like and I understand why they don't have this, but like
We need a crazy red yarn wall of which streamer started this.
who
Yes.
who started it? Like which
Pepe
one
Sylvia.
which one started it? How long ago was it, and like who could have maybe like was it this tiny person, who maybe like made this person want to play it who is like really good friends with this big streamer, and then they wanted to play it, you know, and then it just kind of burst out from there. I would love to know. It would be so
Okay,
cool.
I
I
read
think
that,
the
and I didn't
first
understand
time I heard this game, it was compared to Town of Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's it. Not Trouble in Terrorist Town. I think it's Town.
No, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
What is Town of Salem? I don't know what any of this stuff is that it got compared to.
Just
See,
buy the
now all we need
randomizer.
to do is
Ram is not
No-
drastically
Noelle's
expensive.
already done the crazy red yarn wall for us.
See, and that actually helps, like what she said there, because it's cheap, fast. We can scream at each other. Like it's cheap and it's fun, and like yeah, it's easy to download right away. It's not like one of those, okay, I gotta wait like a few hours, maybe, like depending on like your computer speed. But like I have to wait a little while to download this game before I can try it. It's like what they said right there. It's easy and it's fun and it's silly. You know, you can just like it's not like a huge time sink. You know, like you can just start right away, and it's super easy.
Yeah. The now I don't know, when Fall Guys was brought up, one of the things I said that I think was a big part of its appeal was that it has the arcade game reward loop. Looks simple, is actually trickier than it looks to like do, right? Like it's harder. There's more skill involved than it looks like there is. But it what keeps you coming back, right?
And, like, pushes more around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't have the worst part of arcade games, which was having to pay. And so like that's what I think that the appeal of the like. Because in games, traditionally, in design, we look at a gameplay loop, right? So Borderlands, for instance, right? Why do you kill bosses? To get loot. Okay, well, why do you get loot? So you can kill bigger bosses, etc. Same thing with Monster Hunter World, right? You kill monsters to get gear, to build better armor, so you kill better monsters, right? I don't know enough about Among Us to know what the gameplay loop is.
It's to argue with your friends.
Scream at
and attack each other.
Yeah, and maybe
feel
it's just
bad.
like that, like just that ecosystem alone, because there's no gameplay loop to having lunch with your friend, right? You're just hanging out, having lunch, and having fun. So it's possible
No,
that
there
Among Us
is.
has
You get
that sort of
breakfast,
appeal.
then you get lunch, then you get dinner, then you repeat the next day.
You eat food so you can survive longer, so you can have more lunches with your friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with. Yeah,
One of the things that I've seen from it too that like makes me think it's silly is like just watching when Ash was streaming it the other day, like watching you guys just
Yeah, it was really
so
intense.
angry
in
at
there,
each
I'll be honest.
other. Like it reminded me of this one scene from Parks and Recreation when the coffee machine gets busted, and so Ron's like, okay, who broke it? And Leslie, of course, is like, it was me. I broke it. And he's like, no, you didn't. He's like, who broke it? And so everybody in the office just starts like pointing their fingers at each other. Like, oh, I saw April buy it. Like, I don't even drink that crap. But like, I saw Ben buy it though. And they all just start screaming at each other and getting really angry. And then it just shows Ron, who goes, I broke it. It burnt my hand, so I punched it. And he's like, but they're gonna be at each other's throats for a good while in there. And he's like, good. It was getting too chummy around here. It's now one of my favorite things because every time I think of Among Us, I think of Parks and Recreation.
You know who should play that game?
I am Ron in the snow.
You should get a bunch of people like Walt, and by Walt I mean like theater people, because I feel like that'd be a really good performance.
It would be fun to do it as like a murder mystery where you have to stay in character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like that. There was a South Park episode where it was like they were at like some, I think it was like a Wild West area or whatever, and then like it was like don't break character, and that was like the whole meme of the
Yep,
episode.
I remember that one. That makes me think more of Parks and Recreation too. 'Cause, like, there's a part with April when she's like, I didn't steal them. But what was she like? I can't even do it now because I'm forgetting it. But she's like, I didn't steal the jewels. I didn't, darling. I didn't.
Oh my
She's like-
goodness, Noelle, I love that idea. Yeah, so if you're purple, you have to be Professor Plum.
Oh
If
my
you're,
god.
You know, if you're red,
I was
you have to be
always
Scarlet.
Colonel Mustard. I don't know why.
Colonel Mustard.
I was just,
Colonel Mustard.
I always
oh my
picked
God.
him. I don't know why.
Morgan, if you didn't have to go to work tomorrow early, I would say we should play one round before we go to bed.
I would
After
love
we
that.
hop off stream.
God freaking work.
Yeah. I think you brought up a good point though about the game. I think it's fun and stressful to play. It's highly entertaining to watch. So like
was really funny to watch you guys.
yeah, so I think that's a major part of the appeal of it, just to see people get super worked up and see people try to lie, and like it's there's a lot of entertainment there. Last game.
For how many times I did that playing Fall Guys, because when I wasn't working, like it was still during the summer, like I can remember sitting there being like, I'll just play one more game of Fall Guys, and then one more turned into like 15. Then I went to bed at like 3 a.m. Oh no, that's me though with management games. Literally, I can't play like Emperor or like Sim City or whatever after midnight because I will not go to bed until 8 a.m. Guarantee it.
Perfect.
So, how many of you in chat have played this game? I know no one
Drop a 1 in chat if you've played Among Us.
I know quite a few of you were on Ashes the other day.
They're ruining friendships. I'm never coming here again.
Zero 1 0 0 0 binary solo.
See, Daryl's smart. He's like, I'm not gonna get into this whole mess. I'm just gonna watch other people get into a mess, and then.
Yeah, Among Us is also a game that I wouldn't play, but I will gladly watch. There's a lot of games like that for me, though.
Rick's Cafe.
You wouldn't play it, but you could play it technically.
You mean I'm capable of playing it? Is that what you mean?
No, you will play it. It's in the contract. You have to participate in every
Should Morgan gift him the game?
that we.
He'll play it if Morgan gives him the game.
Also, I like how Zippy recognized Melly's Flight of the Conchords reference.
Thank you, Zippy.
Something else we can mention. If we had been on live on Friday, that would have been our 1 year.
Oh. Wait, what? Really?
The 11th. Or no,
Wow.
wait, no, not the 11th. It's the... No, it is 11th. Or it's 11th to 13th. One of those two.
Oh my god.
Well, it's close to a year at the very least. This is something I thought we would have put in the title.
Well, it came to me after we had started, and like we were like an hour in. I was like, oh, I can't edit the title now.
I mean, you could have.
It's pretty wild that we've been doing this for a year, and I have to say we've done. So it's episode 44. Like we very rarely miss a Streamers Become Human week. Like we've quite. Like I think we've been rather professional about the whole thing.
Ice Dragon wants the lampshade fixing stream.
When I think of something
present.
When I think of something that's valuable enough to me that someone else can offer, then I will fix the lampshade.
Bidding has started the eBay bidding for Trev fixing his lampshade.
So that means we have to figure out how to make a Devil May Cry Digimon. That's what we have to do. That has like Monster Hunter World type leveling and looting in it.
So I'm not going to out this person who's a friend of mine, but I was talking to a friend of mine semi-recently about Streamers Become Human, and I had said that I was like, yeah, like I was super surprised. I didn't expect it to become all it's become and everything. Like, it's been like such a wild ride because we didn't really know what this is when we first started. And he was like, yeah, I really didn't expect you guys to still be going. Like, basically, like this is long in. And,
you know what's funny? I've heard that same thing from other people. Not like anyone you know.
I'm gonna be honest, it's like, probably the same person.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Like, can I also just say, like, do you think at one point, like, do you think Trev, like, once we're done here, just goes like to the back of his room and just fixes the lampshade?
Yeah, I get up and I fuck it up every time right before. Like,
so he's just like, screw you guys.
That's funny you said. I have a friend that is a co-host on a podcast, and when he first started, I remember talking to his wife about it, and I said, "Oh yeah, like have you been listening to his podcast?" And she's like, "No," and then I was like, "Why not?" It's like, like why would you? She's like, "If he's still doing it in a year, I will listen to it." So look, that was like the year mark. So
Yeah, exactly.
And she
yeah,
did. She held up her end of the bargain. They held out for a year.
Oh, can we get a Fuel's
Thank
birthday
you. Finally
man
started listening to it.
in chat for Andrew?
Hey, happy Andrew birthday!
Happy banana birthday!
He was playing golf earlier. I asked him
Yes.
to hit it
He was
Happy
playing like
Gilmore
real
style.
golf, or he was
Yeah,
playing
like
the,
real golf, like IRL golf.
IRL golf.
Because I was like, hit it like Happy Gilmore, and then he didn't do it. And I was like, wow.
What? Who beat me to it? Morgan.
No, I don't
It was,
remember
like, going
the
through it
exact
as
date.
well.
Hold on, I can check right
It was
now.
like going through it. It was like, nope. I was like, wait, what happened?
Wait, where's that info? Creator dashboard and science
Happy birthday, Andrew.
achievements.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Okay, let's see. Okay, the 1 year will be the 13th.
Cool.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Which is what day?
That's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday. Yeah, yeah. That's when my NVMe is arriving for my computer.
Ooh,
Nice.
Cool.
So that's depending on what time it arrives. I'm reinstalling Windows on Sunday, and if not, I'm reinstalling it on Monday. So we're gonna be cluing up now because it's quite late. It's actually 12:30 for me. And yeah, and Morgan has work tomorrow, and I have like kind of work tomorrow. Insofar as you can consider writing something work. And so we are going to. No, honestly, I'm so minimal with what I put on drives, anyways, that I just do a fresh install and just it's very very quick.
That's good too, because it gets rid of a lot of the like crap that like is built up from.
Yeah, and I'm using my other storage for just my streams because I record all my streams, and it's piling up the, you know, they'll all be cloud backed up as well.
Good night,
Hi,
guys.
Kaiser.
Yeah, have a great night, Kaiser and everyone. Thanks so much, everybody, for stopping by and hanging out. We may have a guest next week. I'll make an announcement about that later the week, by which I mean I'll tell Trev, and he'll make an announcement about it, or he won't. It's up to him, really.
Yeah. It'll happen if I want it to happen.
We are going to raid. Trev, did you read the thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, we are going to raid Kazler, also known as Kaz. Really wonderful streamer, and he's actually been on the
He was
podcast
on
before.
not too long ago, like a couple episodes.
Not too long ago, yeah. And he's on our team, True Variety. Wonderful streamer, wonderful teammate, and just a really cool dude. Yeah, you've got so get your whatever commands to streamers become raiders and whatever emotes you want to toss on top of that.
Make sure you slash me before you do it.
Do
you
slash
don't
me.
have to, but like I'm not your mom. I'm not gonna be like, you know.
But it makes it look really
Yeah, it
cool.
looks cooler, so you don't want to be looking uncool in front of other people. So make sure you
Exactly.
slash me.
Yeah. It embarrasses you and embarrasses us. So, we're gonna do this raid. Kaz is actually playing Among Us, which we were just talking about. So, if you're like me and you don't know too much about Among Us,
If
then
you want to
will
see
learn
Kaz ruin some friendships, that'll be the place to go.
Guys,
exactly.
follow or be banned.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically.
That's how it works. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, thank you guys for
What?
showing up, and see you guys.
Lillian says goodbye too.
Oh.
All right, I hit it. So.